When I started considering programs for continuing my education, one of the main decision-making factors was finding a program that would make me a more effective teacher for my students. One specific thing I felt was lacking from my classroom was the use of technology. When it came to technology, my students were leaps and bounds beyond me. In fact, there would often be a role reversal in my classroom. My students take a role of teacher, instructing me on how to use technology. Full Sail's EMDT program offered courses on many of the things I believed my class was missing. Learning to successfully use technology became a motivating factor as I started my journey at Full Sail. In Month 1's Media Literacy and Methodology course, I began researching topics that would eventually become my literature review. My desire to learn ways to incorporate technology, coupled with my district's new technology policy, helped direct me towards the topic of my AR project. My project focused on the incorporation of personal technology devices in the English classroom. I wanted to find ways that I could use devices that had previously been considered a distraction. In Month 1, I discovered supporting experts such as Metros who stated, "Current curriculum showed the need for change in the wake of media-rich environment students grew up in. In addition, students were in constant connection with visual images through not only television and movies, but also handheld devices such as iPods, iPads, and smartphones." Metros also stated the advent of these technologies changed the definition of literacy. In Month 2, we learned about Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. This theory directed my research to Purcell, who stated, "One of the empowering benefits to quell fears of reluctant educators expressed was the learner had dozens of personal technology options available to accommodate the needs of every learning style. The variety and versatility of technology options addressed differentiation needs." One of the most useful items in directing my AR project was learning about and using the ADDIE model. In Month 3, one of the tools we were introduced to was Poplet. Using Poplet and ADDIE, I was able to create a visual representation of my plan. Once my plan was in place, I was able to consider Cycle 1. In Cycle 1, I began using some of the assets I had created, starting with a sample writing assessment and rubric. I also created an introductory Prezi that outlined the benefits of blogging to my students. These benefits included topics such as multiple technology resources, improved writing, editing, technology, and reading skills, and finally, more flexibility in when and where you work on your assignments. In Cycle 1, I also began by incorporating the use of several surveys. These surveys helped me learn about students' attitudes towards writing, experience with blogs, and personal technology usage. This information was supported in my literature review. For example, had suggested the presence of technologies such as iPhones and iPads in daily life should be harnessed and utilized as a method of instruction. I also created a central class blog and individual blog pages for each of my students. I chose the Edublog format for the blogs. Edublog was an easy to use and manage system. Most importantly, Edublogs had an app for iPhones or could easily be accessed through Google. My students were introduced to Edublog through several brief tutorial videos, such as the one that follows. You find your blog page. This time we're going to go in Mary Turner's blog, and we go back up to Mary's name and her dashboard in order to enter her first blog post. We're going to scroll down here to Posts, click on All Posts, and that way you can see everything. It'll list everything you have posted in case you want to edit anything, or you can just click on Add New Post, and then you can create a brand new post right here. So let's title this one My First Post. And in here is where you're going to insert your text. So we're just going to type a sample post here. Hi, this is my first blog post. Please check back later. And once you get that typed in, you can look and see what it will look like. Preview. And here it shows up. After viewing the tutorials, my students immediately began customizing their blogs and composing responses to weekly prompts on their own blog pages. According to Thomas and McGee, personal technologies offered the ability to create digital images, movies, and podcasts. Additionally, higher-order thinking skills were developed when technology and traditional writing lessons were combined. Some of my Cycle 1 results included a preference for personal technology over traditional journals, an increased frequency in writing, an increased response length in writing, and a minimal change in formatting or organization of writing. In Cycle 2, we continued using personal technology devices and weekly blogging assignments. I also tried to find additional ways I could use the devices successfully. For example, resources were added to the class blog. These could be read on their devices. I also had my students convert their formal writing portfolios to an essay page on their blogs. Additionally, we started using resources such as Poll Everywhere to prompt classroom discussions. This gave shy students the opportunity to anonymously view their thoughts. According to Het in my literature review, technology and visual aspects added to literacy curriculums were the impetus to create a renewed excitement for the reading and writing process. Some of my Cycle 2 results were a 1.5 increase in the exit writing assessment, a slight improvement in length, grammar, and spelling conventions, and support for the blog and technology format. I know I will be using the information I learned from my AR project and courses in the future. I have already incorporated several of the items I learned and created during the Learning Management System course. I will be using Schoology for communication, grading, and of course continued practice of writing through blogging during their summer reading projects. I have also included options for students to address their summer reading projects with games through Minecraft and movies through Movie Maker or iMovie. I can definitely say, although it's been a long journey, I have accomplished what I set out to with Full Sail University.